People are understanding something, are bringing peace in their lives. And you can be a part of the magic regardless of where you are. Today, we've all come here with the expectation of hearing something about peace. I mean, after all, peace is a nice thing. It's a good thing. But I'm here not to talk about peace. So, what am I going to talk about? I'm going to talk about you. Because it just so happens that the peace that you are looking for, it's a big statement. The peace that you are looking for is already inside of you. Are we done? I mean, in one sense, what else is there to say? That's it. You have it. So then, why isn't it there? What happens? What is all the other stuff? The good days, the bad days, the rights, the wrongs. So once there was a little bunny rabbit. This bunny rabbit went out looking, having his grass, jumping around. And all of a sudden, he saw a chicken. And the little bunny rabbit was very fascinated by the chicken. And he looked at his fur and looked at the chicken. And the chicken had these pretty feathers. And so the bunny said to himself, surely if I could be like the chicken, I would be so much better. So he noticed that there was all these chicken feathers lying around, so he picked them up, put it on himself, and tried to infiltrate the chicken circle. But he was not successful. As soon as he would come, the chickens knew that that was no chicken, and they would move away from him. And this saddened the bunny even more. The one day, the bunny came across butterflies. Really loved the butterflies. And the bunny said, that's what I want to be like. So the bunny painted his fur with all the same kind of patterns and color as the butterfly. And he tried to fly, but he couldn't fly. And he tried to be friends with the butterflies, but he couldn't. And he got even sadder. And he kept making his attempts again and again not to be himself, because somehow he could not appreciate his own beauty. He could appreciate the beauty of the butterflies. He could appreciate the beauty of the chickens. But he could not appreciate who he was. And more he tried, the sadder he got. So why am I telling you this? After all, you're not a bunny. Are you? You're not. You don't look like a bunny. I don't see any bunnies here. But you see, to us, the subject of the stars is infinitely interesting. An exploration of the heavens is infinitely interesting. Ideas about what will happen to us after we die is infinitely interesting. Wow. Egyptians got into it. Hindus got into it. I mean, just about everybody got into it. And we've been trying to figure it all out. Not for a week, not for a month, not for 2 months, but thousands of years. And we haven't yet figured it out. If your child failed in his class 1 year, he's a little slow, he will develop, it's no problem. Lots of kids fail classes 1 year. 2 years, maybe he needs help, extra tuition. 3 definite cause for concern. 4, Five, now I'm concerned about the parents. Forget about the child at this point. I'm concerned about the parents. Because there's a limit. There's a limit. We have definitely, unquestionably, passed that. Because we're talking about thousands of years. Asking the same question, getting the same answers, don't know. Year after 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 year. So, folks, we're supposed to be the smart ones. We're the human beings. Aren't we the ones that have the ability to figure out? Why are we failing in the class again and again and again and again and again and again and again for thousands of years? Am I concerned? You should be too. Because the reality is, our fascination has taken us to places other than us? And the answer and the solution lies in the simplicity. I like simplicity. In the simplicity of understanding ourselves. So, there is this question. I touched on it in South America, and then just recently I was speaking in Barcelona. I touched upon it there, and I will touch upon it here. Why not? It's a good question. It's a very deep question. It's a very profound question. And you've all been asked that question. And the question is, how are you? But don't you think it's profound? I mean, how are you? So somebody had been to Barcelona, and they met me at the airport, and they asked me the question. So they said, I've been to Barcelona. I heard you speaking there. How are you? And I found myself completely stopping whatever I was thinking about. I was thinking. Believe me, I was thinking. But I completely stopped thinking, and I started thinking about the profoundness of this question. Because it doesn't matter what religion you believe in. It doesn't matter what your upbringing is. You know one thing, I hope, that the divine dwells within you. Now, we're not talking about Jack the baker down the street, okay? We're not talking about the policeman that always stands around the corner. We're not talking about the immigration officer who's there at the airport. We're not talking about your uncle who lives 5 doors down from you. We're not talking about the milkman. We're not talking about the guy who owns the gas station where you take your car to get filled. We're not talking about the teacher that teaches your child. We're talking about the divine. What do I mean by divine? I don't even care if you don't believe in God. If you're an atheist, fine. Because all you don't believe is in the 3 letters, G-O-D. But you know there's something big going on. Big. I mean big. I mean really big. Like this earth just swirling around at this huge speed and not even being suspended from a fishing line. And then there is the moon and the sun and the billions and billions and billions and billions and billions and trillions of stars. And it's just all there. Just there. It means there's something big going on. That's what I call the divine. Because this I know to be true. I don't have to believe this. If you brought a picture of Krishna in front of me, I would immediately be able to recognize that picture as Krishna's. That's Krishna. You've heard about Krishna, right? So if somebody brought a picture of Krishna, that's Krishna. How do I know? How do I know? I don't. I don't. But a long time ago, somebody pointed to that picture and said, "That's a picture of Krishna." And I said, "That's a picture of Krishna." And since then, it has been a picture of Krishna because I was not there. And there were no cameras. And if somebody could draw a picture of Krishna really, in this day and age, that guy's got a sharp memory. I mean, I'm not even 60 yet. And I'm like, my God, what happens to the memory? I know of people who are half my age and they can't even remember who they are. That's why I have to go around telling everybody, know thyself, know thyself, know thyself, know thyself. So that's what we have forgotten. So there's a lot of beliefs. But knowing, I know that what is keeping alive this universe is also in me keeping me alive. The divine, my divine, your divine, our divine, everywhere divine. Everywhere. I mean everywhere. Everywhere. Making things happen. Turning, burning, changing, creating, destroying. From fog, mist, just mist, to floods. All those water droplets, when they rose up, they were just a mist, a fog, a vapor. Next thing you know, lightning, thunder, tornadoes, flood. That's my divine. Amazing. From nothing to everything. And that divine, so far I am alive, is in me. I really mean you, but I'm making it gentler, softer, more politically correct. So I'm using me. And it's perfectly okay, because that's true. But it's also true for you. You have the divine within you, as I have the divine within me. And this is the only thing we share. The skin. So far it's on me. That's mine. And one day it will become dust. Maybe turn into an eggplant, turn into a tomato, potato, I don't know what, because everything on this earth is recycled. It is. It is. Very little new material comes in. It's all the same stuff. It's taken, put back as dust, new things are made out of it. See, we don't see it. We don't see it. But that's what's happening. It's being worked on the mountains. It's being worked on. Everything is being worked on. Nothing is left alone. Even the little grains of sand. I mean, you go to okay, where's the desert? It's a desert. For God's sake, it's a desert. Leave it alone. No. Everything is afoot. Little grains of sand are being rearranged and rearranged and rearranged and rearranged and rearranged. That's my divine. And by the courtesy, otherwise called grace, by the courtesy of that divine being in me, I am alive. And what is it? In the simplest of terms, this breath comes into me. Breath. Remember what I was saying about the bunny? More fascinated by the chickens, butterflies, everything else. Not fascinated by the bunny himself. And like I said, we're fascinated by everything else. Now, when was the last time you thought about your breath? Now, let me ask you one question. What allowed you to come? When you were born, say more like most people, they were born in a hospital or a facility where, especially for birthing. I wasn't, I was born at home. But what allowed me to come home and not to the morgue? Do you know? Bingo. That was it. Nobody looked at my hand and said, oh, let me read his palm. And, oh, gee, he's going to be a genius, but he's not breathing. Off he goes to the morgue. The breath. The breath. The breath. The breath. And what do you think is going to happen? Say you're lying in a hospital. You're not, you're fine, you're breathing, you're okay, and the doctor comes in and he looks at the machine. They have these machines there. They show you the heart rate, the breathing, the EKG, the da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I mean, everything you don't even want to know about yourself. It's all there. The doctor is looking at it, and it's showing nothing. Gee. What do you think? The doctor is going to look at you and say, listen, you have no business breathing because you're dead. I hope you don't have a doctor like that. The doctor will say, no, not you are broken, the machine is broken. And that's an expensive machine, believe me. And what's the difference? You being alive. This breath coming in and out. Courtesy of the divine. Do you understand the significance of being alive? Or are you so fascinated by your everyday agenda and schedule? My SMS messages. People calling me. People calling me. And I look at that number, 78 people have called me. And what does that do for a lot of people? Makes them actually feel good. And if it's 0, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, how come nobody's calling me? The divine is calling you. Just gave you a gift, gave you a blessing. Did you understand it? Did you accept it? Did you acknowledge it? Did you just realize that what we have been trying to figure out for thousands and thousands and thousands of years and have not succeeded at it, just happened. The ultimate miracle of existence. Your existence. Do you sometimes get sad? I do. I do. But in my sadness, I still need to remember. Because regardless of how pathetic my situation is on the outside, one fact remains. And you know what that fact is? I am alive. So I know some of you are like, what's a big thing? You know, give us tools. People want tools. People want tools. Give us tools. My friends, this is about being in love. And there are no tools to fall in love. None. It's not the perfume. It's not the rituals. It's not the rites. It's not the books. It's not the poems. You don't go around walking on the road and saying, let me see, I'm going to fall in love today. Let me read this poem and I'll see if I, It's not the potions. It's not the first girl you see after taking this medicine and then you will fall. No. Falling in love is something different. Something so incredibly different, and there are no tools for it. First thing you have to be in love with is your life. Your life. My dear little bunnies, Dear, 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 dear little buddies, you work so hard to change it. Oh, because it is so alluring to open up one of those slick, fancy magazines and see one of these girls on there, and she just looks divine, and you just go, how come you don't look like this? I didn't say to whom. And you see that guy, and believe me, that's not his Bentley. It's just a model. He's just resting his hand on it. It's probably somebody else's. But it's like, that's what I want to be. People look at these heroes. Look at that guy. Man, he started from nowhere and nothing, and look what he has accomplished. I want to be just like him. Really? Really? You mean the bunny hasn't learned yet that being yourself is the most beautiful, the most attractive, the most youthful, after all, you are judged by the company you keep. And if you keep the company of the divine, well, a little bit of that divinity, believe me, rubs off on you. And you understand, not about 1,000 years, but you understand about today. You understand about now. Well, you've all heard this. All of you have heard this. Yesterday is gone. Tomorrow is just a dream, and today is all you've got. And you go, wow, profound. What am I doing tomorrow? Where's my little book? Does it sink in? Because your reality is right now. And this reality is not about your dreams, but it is about what already has been given to you. That's the reality. And where does it begin? So indeed, where does peace begin? On top of some mountain? After having read 10,000 books? No, thank God. I have a hard time even finishing one book. I can't even watch a whole movie. I have to have my remote. If it gets boring, fast forward. Next. Most of the movies I can figure out the ending. If I can't, I just go to the end, watch it. If it was good, then I'll rewind it and watch the rest of it. Otherwise, why waste your time? I mean, the way I figured it is, if you're going to be duped, because that's what the movie is doing, then that's not really what's happening. Maybe it's going to make it worth your while. Get your money's worth out of it. But I'm talking about reality. It's as real as it gets. Not a fiction, not an idea, not an ideal, not somebody's idea, somebody saying, oh, this is what I think truth is. No. But you feeling in your life what that reality is. And the day that begins for you, then that is the day you will experience peace. And not temporary peace, permanent peace. Real peace. And when you experience the real peace, your heart will dance with joy. You think everything will go silent? Oh, no. Oh, no. Peace isn't that peaceful. It really isn't. It really isn't. Peace is nothing as you may have imagined. You see this guy walking, no expression, just walking, flowing white hair. And you go, wow. That's not peace. That's just the guy can't remember anything. It's like where he's going, what his name is, where he's been, nothing. That's called blankness. Oh, when you experience peace, it is exciting. Every fiber in your body wants to sing with gratitude. Not gratitude for a book, idea, thought, or a person, but gratitude to the divine. That's why I call the divine divine, because it is so divine. Wow! To feel that, to know that, to understand that. It's the fulfillment of every quest that any human being has had on the face of this earth. That's why my very dear friend Kabir says, the fish is thirsty in the water, and it makes me laugh. You have the abundance, and you're lacking something in your life. This is what I said. I'm not talking about Jack the Baker down the street. I'm talking about the divine being. So, how will you answer this question? How are you? The one that encompasses the divine with them, how should they be? Just fine? Good, thank you? Okay? Figure it out. But that's not the most important thing of what you say. What the most important thing is that next time somebody asks you this question, perhaps it will evoke this understanding in you that the divine is within inside. That's what's important. How are you? How are you? How are you? And how should you be? Then you are truly the most fortunate, the most beautiful. If you understood what this gift is. You see, breath does not happen in the past. And you see, the breath does not happen in the future. The breath, my friends, only happens in this moment called now. And if there is any importance to this moment called now, it is the coming and going of this breath. And this is where it's dancing. You want to dance with it? Oh, no, not physically. Not to show other people. No, this is not about, many times I go to India and I say to them, I said, so why are all these people who have renounced the world announcing to the world we have renounced the world? It's a tongue twister. But all the people who have renounced the world are very particular about announcing to the world that they have renounced the world. If you have renounced the world, what do you care? But they do. Oh man, they've got their uniform, their kurtas pleated perfectly. Some are completely naked. And it's really trippy because you watch them. They sometimes have their religious, discourses on television. And before the religious discourse comes on, you get the same warning as if it was going to be a really dirty movie. There may be scenes in here that may be inappropriate for. And then all the time they're trying to hide what it is that they're showing to everybody. But no, none of these dramas. That's not what I'm talking about. That's not what it is. It is in here. This is where the heart is the only platform where the dance can happen. That's the importance of the heart. That's that one place, because in the plan of everything, when you are content, you will feel good. When you feel good, you will dance, and you need a place to dance. And it's called your heart, where the gratitude will play out, where the contentment will be realized. We are human beings. If we do not know who we are, how are we going to come and live together on the face of this earth? Right now, the only thing that matters to us is this is mine and that is yours. This is the only thing that matters to us. This is mine, that's yours. This is mine, that's yours. This is mine, this is yours. Another poet who translated Ramayana said, and there's a word for it in Hindi, and I'm sure you must have heard it, it's called Maya, means illusion. And he says, that's it, that's illusion. What is illusion? This is mine, that is yours. That's the illusion. Oh, I'm sure you have heard definitions of what illusion is and totally disagreed. Oh, that's some Hindu philosophy, right? Because people who don't understand it usually end up explaining it. So, if you're the first one that's confused about it, join the club. I was sitting with one guy in the airplane, in the cockpit. And he said to me, he was my co-pilot, he said to me, I am very fascinated, I'm studying Hindu religion. What can you tell me about it? I said, what would you like to know? He goes, oh, it's so complicated. I said, no, it's not, it's very simple. He said, we Hindus also believe in God, G-O-D. G for generator, O for operator, D for destroyer. And I looked at him and I said, do you find that confusing? He goes, no. I said, that's all. That's Hinduism. Oh, no, there is 50,000 gods, and no, they're not. There's only one God. Only one. Only one. Only one. Only one. Only one. Only one. The other ones, or 50,000 or whatever, they're just heads of little departments. They're not gods. So, you've heard about the big Indians, Hindus or whatever. Oh, they think everything is an illusion. No, let me explain what illusion is. Very simple. This is mine, that's yours. That's the illusion. Because it's not yours, and it's not theirs. Excuse me, you are here, and you are the temporary one. Do you know there are trees on the face of this earth that were in full maturity even before Christ walked the earth? When you say 2,000 years, that means nothing to these trees. That's how temporary you are. The only thing that's kind of turned you permanent temporarily is the divine. And that's why you can't wait to express your gratitude for that miracle of all miracles to have happened. This is the miracle. My God, this is the miracle. And what is miracle to other people? Well, you see the Rock, drive a car. I don't consider that a miracle. That's absurd. Rock should not be driving a car, because it'll hurt the steering wheel, and it will not get hurt itself. No sense of driving, no, that is not a miracle. What was fascinating? A monkey. Look at that monkey. Look at that monkey. Oh yes, when I was growing up, we used to have a monkey around the block, and he used to drink and smoke. He was a chimpanzee. And you'd swing all day long, and then you'd see him, and he'd be smoking a cigarette, and we'd be like, wow, look at that monkey, he smoked a cigarette. What should be fascinating to us, truly, dirt. This is dirt. Yes, it is. Can think. Dirt can think. That's a miracle. And that miracle is happening right here, right there. Each one of you. If you only know about this, you are entrapped by time. Gotcha. Every line, every gray hair, every failing of this dirt will preoccupy you. And if you are captivated by the divine, you have inherited some of that immortality. Then this smiles. These shine. This feels good. And when you become like that, my God, the world wants your company. Don't you want to be around a person who feels good in themselves? Don't you want to be around the bunny that is content being the bunny that the bunny is? Can you imagine what would happen if a lot of us on the face of this earth were like that? Would we care about each other's religion? Would we care about each other's belief systems? Would we care about each other's skin color? Would we care about each other's wealth? Would we care about each other's education? It would just be so much fun. Fun. Just fun to be around each other. I mean, wouldn't it? I mean, it would just be a blast. And that is the only way I know that there could ever be peace on the face of this earth. Because the peace on the face of this earth has to begin from here, from you. So that's why I needed to talk about you instead of peace. But now you see, that's just how it is. Peace will naturally happen. when all is well with us. The doubt, the fear, yes, all that's there. The anger. But so is joy. So is understanding. So is truth. So is clarity. Isn't it? Isn't it? Then what is it that year after year we choose? The fear, the doubt, the anger. Instead of the sweet other reality that is already inside of you. That's it. That's what I have to say. No more. Feel it. Don't just talk about it. Feel it. Because you can. And this is your time to feel it. Because you're alive and you just happen to be in a feeling machine. You know that, right? I mean, of all the things that this thing can do, it can feel. Really, really feel. You're in the feeling machine. Get with the feeling. Feel the divine. Let your heart be filled with gratitude. Nothing else is good enough. Not good enough. So what I say, I know it to be true. This is not my belief. What I have said today, you already know. And that's even more wild. It is wild. I just finished tour of India. After the tour of India, then I came to Barcelona, went to South America, finished a whole tour of Sao Paulo, Buenos Aires, Chile, Peru, Ecuador. Then back to Barcelona, and here I am in Munich, going on to Milano, and then a bunch of different places. Pacific, India again, North Pacific. And most of these places, I spoke for an hour. Telling people what they already knew. Now, how did I get away with it? I'll tell you how. Because I speak from my heart to yours. This is not a speech that I wrote. I speak from my heart to yours. And if it was just the inquisitive one, it would be very bored. Divine? Yeah, I've heard that. Divine, sure. But when the heart gets touched, fortunately, the inquisitor slows down. You understand, because you did understand when I said how the heart fills with gratitude. You know, you have experienced that in your life. And maybe it was only a fraction of a second. I want you to experience that which you only experience for a fraction of a second for the rest of your life. Because do you know what day it is today? Do you know what day it is today? Today is the first day of the rest of your life. Everything has been reset. You don't have to worry about the ghosts. Those ghosts live in the past. Scary. Come out when it's dark. Haunt you. The clock has been reset. Today is the first day of the rest of your life. Blank slate. What do you want to do? And let the rest of the days of your life be in rejoicing, in understanding, in being fulfilled, in experiencing the divine. I mean, my God, you've experienced all that other stuff that didn't do it, just didn't do it. 25,550. Based on an average of 70 years, that's how many days you get, 25,550. Now what can you do with 25,550 euros? Not a whole lot anymore. Well, that's how many days you have. And that includes the day you were born. So if you came out a little like frazzled that day, 2,549. Oh, and many have already gone. And yet it doesn't matter when you're going to have a time of your lifetime, just one is enough. So that's it. I've already spoken for an hour and 2 minutes, telling you what you already knew. Enjoy this life. Feel fulfilled. Know that the divine is inside of you. Not a theory. That is the only reality. Only reality. Only reality. Thank you very much. Good night.